Hey friends, welcome back to another video. My name is Ruth and this week we are painting this watercolor bouquet together. It's very easy and I'll show you how to paint it in only 20 minutes. So let's dive in. The first flower that I'm painting is a rose, and for this rose I paint tiny circles in the center with the tip of my brush, and then I use the belly of the brush to paint the petals around the center with very diluted paint. Then I use some thicker paint to make the center brighter and stand out, and I paint in some more petals with lighter paint. For the second rose, I mix some red into my pink to create a slightly different color, and then I repeat the same process. I paint in tiny little circular motions with the tip of my brush, and then with some more water on my brush I paint in the petals around the center. Even more water to get a lighter wash. And now I mix some purple on my palette with a little bit of pink. I add some water to dilute the paint. And a little bit of blue as well. Some more pink into the mix. And then I start painting in some petals of the next flower. And I let the paint bleed into the rose a little bit. I like that effect when the colors bleed into each other. And I add some water. And for these petals I use the belly of the brush and the tip of the brush as well. For the details I use the tip of the brush, and then for the larger areas I use the belly of the brush. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just have fun painting these flowers. Mix some more pink to create a slightly different color, and I add that to the center of the flower to create some more dimension. So let's paint another one of these flowers. Mixing some purple, slightly different color again, and painting in the petals. Make sure to leave some white in between. If you don't leave white, you just get a very big stain of paint actually. And with leaving these whites, you create that really nice look of petals. So here I add another petal, and as you can see, I'm just painting very loose with a very loose style, not very much detail, just having fun with it, creating these flowers. And I add some darker paint into the petals that are still wet, and it really gives a nice effect. The colors blend together. And for this painting I am using Fabriano watercolor paper, cold pressed. For the first time I'm painting on cold pressed paper. And the difference from hot pressed paper is that the cold pressed paper has a rough surface, and I am very happy with how these flowers come out on this rough paper. So I think I will be using it a lot more in the future. So on to the peony. I use the pink color again, a very light wash, a lot of water mixed into the paint. And I paint in some basic shapes with the very loose style, not too much detail, just having fun with it. And I paint some C shapes to create that peony effect. Just use your tip of your brush for the C shapes, and then for the bigger petals you can use the belly of the brush. Put a little pressure on the brush to create these petals. And then some tiny petals in behind and some stripes again to create the look of many petals. So I add some extra pigment to the wet paint. And some more petals on the side as well. So here I decided to add another peony bud, and for the bud I use the tip of my brush, as you can see, and I paint in an oval shape and some leaves on the side as well. And some circular motions to create that effect of the bud. Just have fun with it, don't overthink it. Just paint very loose and everything will be fine. I add some more pigment. And some extra color to the peony on the top. Just creating some more dimension. Now I mix some green and I let that bleed into the peony bud. And some leaves on the side. Using the tip of my brush for the tiny detail and then the belly for the leaf. So I do the same here. Let the green bleed into the peony. I really like how that looks. when the colors mix together. Now I add some very thick paint to the center of the rose to create that depth. Paint in circular motions, and then I add some water to dilute it a little bit and blend it together. And I do the same thing to the other rose. Some thick paint in the center and then some water to blend it together. Now I add the stamen to the peony. I mixed some yellow on my palette, some cadmium yellow, and I just add some stripes and some dots to the center of the peony to create the stamen. And I also add some ochre, yellow ochre, to the stamen to darken it a little bit. And that's it for the stamen of the peony. So now I use black for the center of this flower. I paint in a circle. You don't have to use black, you can use any dark color you want if you don't want to use black, but I use black here. And then I paint in some stripes with the tip of my brush. Tiny little stripes, and then I paint some dots on the ends. To create the stamen of this flower. Then I repeat the same thing here on this flower, a black circle, then some stripes with the tip of my brush and some dots on the ends. And now I mix some greens on my palette. Sap green, some neutral tint, and a little bit of black to darken it up. Make it even darker. I also add some blue. And when I'm happy with the mix, I paint in the leaves of the peony. And as you can see, I first use the tip of my brush, then the belly, and then the tip again. So, no pressure, pressure, no pressure. That's the motion for these leaves. You can also practice the leaves on a sheet of paper before adding them to your painting, if you're a little bit insecure about how to paint them. That's a nice way of doing it as well. So for the other leaves, I mix some lighter green and I just add them. And actually it's the same motion, no pressure, pressure, no pressure, but then a little bit smaller. So again, no pressure, pressure, no pressure, no pressure, pressure, no pressure. It's fun to say it. And as you can see, there's a little bit too much water here. I just dry off my brush and then touch the leaf slightly, and that will pick up the water. So, adding some more leaves with the same motion. So I keep adding leaves in a variety of green colors. So I really like it when not all the leaves have the same color. So I add some more leaves until I'm happy with the result. And that's it for today's painting. I really hope you liked this video and that you learned something from it. And if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can hit the notification bell to get informed when a new video comes out. And of course you can leave a comment in the section below and share my video if you want. And thank you so much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!